Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And when I did my video on battery nut pliers or battery terminal pliers, several people commented that they didn't know that these kind of pliers existed, and I thought maybe I should do something about fencing pliers because a lot of people have seen these but don't know anything about them. But first I thought I'd bring this to someone's attention. I got a comment about channel lock making a slip joint battery terminal plier. And I was digging through some of my old tools and I pulled this out, and as you can see right in here there's the rusty channel lock logo. There it is. And I guess I just kind of assumed it was an old pair of channel locks, but when I look closer, no, it's I think a battery nut plier. Just for it does close almost all the way, but that's pretty standard for a battery nut. A little on the small side maybe compared to some of my others. But somebody I think actually mentioned these, or mentioned the channel lock old ones in the comment section of that video. So I'm going to explore these. They're kind of interesting. They're old. But anyway, fencing pliers. That's what these guys are. It's a classic design. I don't think Snap-on makes a pair, but just about everybody else does. Milwaukee, DeWalt makes a pair. Obviously, Channel Lock, Crescent makes them, and then there are tons of other tool companies that make pliers like this. It's a classic design. It's got basically, the horn on one end, or the staple puller. It's got the hammer face on the other. Generally a couple of things up here, a couple of things here, and something here on a fairly long frame. Real solid plier because they have to be able to be used aggressively in ways you shouldn't probably use other pliers. I've upgraded these. I got these a couple of years ago. They're the DeWalt version. Pliers like these, they generally sell between $20 and $30, depending on the brand. And this was a little easier to use, softer handles, a little bit bigger all the way around, a little beefier, and a much nicer beak on the staple puller. So, what are the features of these things? First of all, hammer face. What do you use that for? Primarily hammering like fence staples in, or nails. That's a classic thing. Like I'm using just a lightweight staple here just for purposes. Normally you'd use a much heavier fencing staple, but something sticking up, or you need to fix the wire in it, there you go. You're just able to do that on the fly with your pliers. To get it out, generally you either use this, or you might start with the staple grabber, which is right up here at the top. You want to see if you can grab the staple. Most likely, you might be able to get a chunk of it. I got a little piece here, you can see. I was able to raise that. Once I have that up, it's easy to pull the rest of the staple out. If the staple's in too tight, like this, you can see that it's flush. That's where this comes in, and sometimes you might need to add a little oomph to it to help you pry that staple out. Now you can see I've got a little relief, and then I can grab it and yank it the rest of the way out. Come on, there we go. Broken it, didn't it? Nope, I got it out. So anyway, the staple is actually kind of I don't know, the main way we attach wire. But we also use the wire to attach it to other wire. We stretch wire, we pull wire. So a lot of times you want to be able to grab the wire up here, and then maybe I want to make a loop so I can twist it just like that. And then I might have another piece of wire that I feed that through, and then I need to be able to grab those, and I might use the larger part of the plier to twist those out. If I need to cut it, I'm right there with the cutters on both sides, whichever side the pliers are positioned in my hands for cutting. If I need to stretch wire, to tension it, I can grab it here, and then I can start twisting. or I can get this up against something, you know, up against the, say, the fence post, and really start twisting to apply some significant leverage to it to get it nice and snug. I can use these also up here as crimpers. Get this out of here. Sometimes we close off connections with crimps, but you can see a lot of times we're wrapping the wire around and around, and that's where these pliers, you know, really shine, and then just snip off whatever you're not using. And the design of these, I mean, it's a pretty robust plier, you know, a nice beefy, thick, high performance pivot there. But as you can see, these things are way old. They still work just fine. Silky smooth, pass all my tests, even though they're old. But they do get pretty cold and slippery. And if I drop them in the mud or something, good luck finding them. You know, so I thought about it. I've been getting into some other updated tools, and I thought I'd get out there. We use these with barbed wire. We use them with kind of standard deer resistant, or wire to resist deer, or, you know, just say don't trespass. We use it with electrical fencing, and they're fine in the garden if you know, are using staples and using different wire to I don't know, build your bean trellises or whatever. They're just super handy. I wish the handles were all yellow. I wouldn't mind that at all, especially with DeWalt, to make them stand out even more, because you're always setting them down or dropping them as you're working on things. But anyway, you've got those main areas on these pliers. This thing can get pretty sharp, so got to be a little careful, but that's the fencing plier. Classic, been around forever. Get yourself a pair if you think you might ever be working with fence wire. And with that, Doc out.